Welcome to Common Man Cocktails. I am your host, Eric Schomer, and we're just sitting back, lazy on a Wednesday afternoon. Got some bourbon in hand. Got our diabolical shirt on. That's right. This is a Phineas and Ferb reference for those that into the Doofenshmirtz. So, today's review is something we've had in the house for a couple weeks, and it got jammed behind some other stuff I had to review and blah blah blah. Excuses, layered on excuses. Excuses are over. Got 4 of these, but I'm doing one today. That way I can stretch out the content. This is Kentucky Straight Bourbon. It's called Four Roses Single Barrel. This is a sample. There's, as a reviewer, there are a few different ways I get things in the mail. Sometimes I get them like this. This is super awesome because they're full bottles. I can use them on the show for a while and be able to create a lot of recipes. Doesn't always work for every brand, or PR folks don't always have full bottles. Sometimes they come in nips. Probably get tons of those. For instance, Kahlua has sent us these. I ended up finding them at the store. Monin, these were free I found at a conference. This is another way. So, Kentucky Straight Bourbon. This is, I looked it up because there's no stats on here. 50 or 60% corn. It's 50% alcohol by volume, 100 proof bourbon. Should be under 10 years old because they had a gold medal winning thing that said gold medal winner under 10-year-old whiskey. I couldn't find an age specifically, so that's what I got to go on. Price range, roughly $45 a bottle, 750 milliliters. This is 125 milliliters. Could be why samples come in. Scotch, they'll come in this way too. High-end tequilas. Tequila Don Julio 1942. That's their sample bottle. You get what I'm saying. I get some freaking awesome flavors from this. And I kind of expected because it's just been filling this entire area up with craziness. Pretty gold, very like a not even, no, it's more of a copper tone, like a maybe something you see on the piping in your house after it's aged a little bit. Smells awesome. Vanilla, spicy spicy brown sugar, almost like a molasses. I would say this is almost like a rum, an aged rum whiskey hybrid. Sweet smell. This is a sipper right here. This is a single barrel. Yeah, single barrel. So no blends. It's very, that's it. Added 2 ice cubes to help bring out that aroma. This does not feel 100 proof, although I'm getting the tingling now. Oh yeah, if you don't add ice to this, you're losing so much. Add 2 little pieces of ice, like regular size. If you don't want ice, you don't want that cold, you want to keep it as room temperature as you can. Get a bottle of like Poland Springs water and just add a little in there to break that alcohol, release some of that aroma, because they get trapped inside the alcohol molecules, and you got to break them apart, rip those hydrogen bonds. This is awesome. Does not do what I would have thought it would have done. This is like, this would be great in a bourbon beer. I've made a bourbon beer with my father, and sucker is potent because it's beer with bourbon added to it, or wood chips. You soak it in the wood chips. Oh, it's awesome. This has a lot of the attributes of like a Allagash for those that are into the higher end beers, the crazy beers. The smell is just like that of an Allagash beer, where it's just that sweet note to it. Still, you get that vanilla wood, bright, like white oak, almost like the taste is like the smell of walking into a new construction home where the walls are not yet, or a log cabin, or something that has that fresh cut wood. You get like that bright freshness where the wood might be old, but right when you cut it, you get that bright smell. You get a lot of that going on. Plus, it's almost a vanilla bean and a little lime and some other fruit notes I can't get. The lime in the finishes. There's almost a little sour bite as I'm talking. Even though it may be a little dry, but there's definitely some some alcohol for those, and you also got to consider who's doing the review. I've had probably put all these balls in my mouth at one point in time. So drinking straight is not a real, it doesn't bother me like it probably did when I first started, where you're like, dude, drink straight? You kidding me? No, cocktails only. So if you're a cocktails only person, 100 proof of anything is going to be pretty crazy. But this, for those that drink bourbon straight or are willing to give that a try, it's the nicest, sweetest bourbon that's not overly sweetified, if that's a word. Say, for instance, the closest I could come for sweet in this would be like maybe the Maker's Mark. But the Maker's Mark, in my personal opinion, if I can remember, it's hard to remember all these. Can't even get this one's got a little more wood in the aromas and even in the flavors. Buffalo Trace, great on oak. Love the oak. This one, it's like oak and spiced rum and vanilla, and it's crazy. Weirdest dog sound ever. This could probably be mixed in something, and I think that would be a travesty. Drink it straight on ice. That's it. Four Roses, single barrel. I would definitely give this thumbs up. If they have this in the local area, I'm going to have to buy a real bottle of this because this is keeper, or buy it online. You can go like Drink Up New York, Drink Up NY. I think it's Drink Up NY. They probably sell that, close to me at least. So that is the drink. Question of the day. I'm going to go completely different on this. For recipes, just because I've been thinking of this out, and there was a website I've been designing for like a year now. All this stuff with my son and everything kind of has gotten in the way, and mentally I have so much going on. I'm now a dojo instructor. My first class is going to be this Thursday, so I'm going to be doing that too. So I'll be teaching karate, teaching people how to drink, doing a real job, and all the other hobbies, World of Warcraft, kids, family, trying to, you know, go outside, do something. A lot of stuff going on, but I'm still working on a website design. It's still very much in its infancy. So on that vein, what type of when I already know people want a cocktail website where they can search things. I want to basically make Google, but just for cocktails. I want to search for vodka, Irish cream, and orange juice, and come up with all the recipes. I want a social network that where I can like it, I can, you know, that goes back, it trickles to the owner that submitted the recipe, and they get, you know, kudos for submitting lots of great recipes. So I have all these dreams. But when you come to design and get a recipe, where do you go to get your recipes? You watch the show, obviously, but you're the perfect audience. If you said, I want to make a new recipe, and it's got, I want something with Irish, you know, I want St. Patrick's Day cocktails, where do you go? Do you go to us? Do you Google it? Is there an app you use? Because I get people who submit recipes to me on a weekly basis from apps, and it comes up and says, this person submitted this from this app to you. And then they just blast like 5 or 6 of them at a time. Do you use like an app on your iPhone, your Android? Do you always use websites? Do you use traditional books, ebooks? What do you guys do? I'd like to try and do it all, but I'm only one person. If anybody wants to get involved in that, they can let me know. I'm always looking for help in either web or I don't know, anything you think we could do. I could use help because I'm just one guy, and it's tough. On the news front, just make this quick, my son went in today for his lumbar puncture, spinal tap, I guess is what the regulars call it, which is normal. He does it every few months for chemo injections, and he's been having issues with his foot, so now he's stuck in a wheelchair because they want to keep the weight off. They don't know if it's steroids or whatever, so we're waiting on an MRI to get scheduled to get in an MRI, so until then he's probably going to be in a wheelchair. Going to try and bring him to karate so he can do moves, just do them in his wheelchair. But that's just an update for my son, for those I know that are concerned. Nothing alarming, not permanently in a wheelchair, it's just got to keep off his feet for a bit until they can figure out what's wrong with his foot. It happens with medicines and his condition. So there you go. Hopefully you guys can find some Kentucky straight bourbon from the Four Roses in the single barrel variety. I got 3 more, I think, from Four Roses that I'd like to try out too, and now I'm even more excited to do so because this is just like super awesome. They didn't even pay me to say that. You guys just made a good product, and that's probably why you sent it for review. It happens. Alright, talk to you guys later.